back to my channel Kuluru Vinith. So I'll be continuing the expense tracker playlist. So in the last video, this is where we exactly stopped at. Like we completed writing the DataStore repository, RS DataStore, and the next we have to write was the transaction repository. Okay, so let me create that file called transaction repository. And this will be an interface. Okay, yeah, but before this I need to create a data transfer objects because for the operations that I'll be writing down in this transaction repository needs them. Data transfer objects are nothing but those are the things with which we will insert the data into our database tables. Okay, and vice versa if we need that and also we should have model classes that we will convert the data from the data transfer objects to the model classes and use them in our Kotlin UI layer and other domain layer. Okay, so let me first create a package called data. Okay, that is where we will write all operations related to database tables and all data carrying related activities. Okay, in this I will create again one more package called local, since we are performing in the local room database, so I'm just naming it as for our reference. And in this I will create one more package called entity. Okay, so entities are nothing but the tables in the database. Okay, in this I will create two tables, two data transfer objects. One is account DTO and another is a transaction DTO. Okay, it's nothing but accounts table and transactions table. So let me create both of them. First I'll create account DTO. Okay, and this will be data class. Okay, right. So here to let the room know that this is a data table, we have to annotate the class with the @entity annotation. Okay, like this. So and also we'll have one parameter called table name. So here we have to specify what the table name it should be. So I will name here as accounts table. Okay, fine. And now here we'll define the attributes that we're going to store in our database, that is nothing but the column names. So first I will write it as a string, and also to specify which is a primary key and also the column info name in the database, how it should appear, we have an annotations for them as well. So we have to specify like this: if this is a primary key, okay, if it is a primary key, and we have to auto generate true, so this id will be auto generated. And also what should be the column name in our database table. So for now I will name it as the underscore id. Okay, and similarly what else we need? Account type, amount, income and expense, right? So first let me write them. Account, right? Account type, so this would be a string, and I forgot to give comma here. Okay, and what will be having? Amount, and income, this is also double, and expense, this is also double. Okay, so now here now what the name of this should be appeared in our database table. So for this I will name this column info as name as, but let me mention name as account. Okay, so that we'll see this as the account name in our database table. And then amount, or else we can make it as a balance, it will be more clear. Okay, so I'll change this as the balance, and this column info I will name it as the same balance. Okay, and here For income, I'll name it as the income itself. Okay, I'm just writing, no need to write if the names are the same, but for consistency's sake I'm writing so that it will be clear for us. Okay, so income, and for expense as well, I will write it as the expense. Okay, fine. And let me write a function in this class itself, that is it will we will try to convert into our model class. So this is, we'll name this as a to account. Okay, something like this. And what will and this will be of return of type account. Okay, and here we will pass the above parameters, that is id, account type, and id is not needed, we have not, so it's account type, sorry, account type. Here balance, it's income and expense. Okay, so this would help us to convert the DTO into our model class. Now let me create the same way the transaction DTO. Okay, so let me name that as the transaction DTO. This also data class. Okay, so here again we should give the same annotation, entity annotation, and give the table name, and also I'll write the same here. So here entity, the table name we will write it as the transaction table. Okay, transaction table, fine. And here in this, see, we'll have the primary key, id attribute, and other attributes like date of entry, date, and account, category, title, transaction type, same. So I will name this as the date. Okay, date, and here it will be primary key. Okay, and column info, I will name this as better timestamp. Okay, I'll name this as a timestamp. And the next is date of entry. Okay, this is will be of type string, and also we'll have amount. Okay, and another attribute is account, to which account it belongs to, and then category of the activity to which it belongs. So I will name this as a category, and then next is transaction type. Okay, so it's nothing but income or expense, so this also. And finally we'll have the title to give naming convention for this particular activity. Okay, so it will be a string. Now let's give the names of the columns in the table, how it should be. So for the first one, we gave it as a timestamp, and for the other thing, so for date of entry, I will name this as the entry date, entry underscore date. Okay, and for amount, I will keep it as an amount itself. So for amount, it is amount itself. And for account, for account also we'll keep the same name. Okay, account. Okay, and for category also I will keep it as the same name. Okay, category, fine. For transaction type also I'll keep transaction underscore type. Okay, fine, transaction underscore type. And for title, I will name it as a transaction title. Okay, fine. So this is the transaction DTO. Now again we'll write a function to convert it to our model class. Okay, so let's name that as a to transaction, and return type would be its our transaction class, okay, and it will be same. So I will pass the above parameters: date of entry, amount, category, and account, transaction type, and then title. Okay, so this would return a convert from our transaction DTO to the transaction model class, right? So now we have the required DTOs to write a functions in our transaction repository. So let me go back and then see what and all functions we need. So in this so let me go with what and all function we'll need. So let's recall. First we need a function to insert a transaction, right? Whatever the user enters, and so that we should be able to store in our table, right? So let me write the function. The suspend is nothing but the all operation that touches the DP or expensive, which we cannot carry out on our main thread, so we have to carry them in the background threads. Okay, so that will be taken care by these suspend functions. Okay, you will see more details about this later in the coming videos. Okay, so let me name this as the insert transaction. So for this I will name parameter as a daily expense, and it will be of transaction DTO, which we have just created, of type transaction DTO. Okay, so this is one operation that we do. And another thing is we have to insert accounts, that is the bank account and card account or cash account, right? For that also we need one function. So for that let me name this as the insert account. And here again it will be parameter will be list of accounts DTO, so we can insert many accounts at a time. Okay, so this is list of account DTO. So this is one more function. Now we should have the function to get all daily transactions, right? So for that also we need a one function that we have to query our table. Okay, for that let me write name as the get daily transaction. So here we input parameter will be our entry date, for which date we want to get the details of. Okay, so let me name this as the entry date, and it would return the list of the transactions DTO. So we have a data stream or data type flow, which you will know later the power of the flow. Okay, and flow of list of transactions DTO. Fine, so that was the getting daily transactions. And also let's write one more function as well to get the transaction by account, in the sense income and expense. Okay, so let's name this as the get transaction by account type. Okay, and parameter would be account type. Okay, and it will be of a string, and this would give the same the list of transaction DTOs. So I will write the same one as above, that is list of transaction DTO. Fine, now we want to write many functions will be there in this transaction repository, so it will be pretty lengthy interface. So again we will need the details of particular account. So here again cash, bank, or card, right? So we will write for that as well get account. Here it input parameter will be account name, that is cash, card, or bank. Okay, and this would return the account DTO. Okay, fine, so that was one. Again if you want to get the in a plural form, so we can even write the get accounts as a function, but here the input parameter would be nothing, just it will give by default all the accounts it has. So we'll write that as well, function get accounts, and it will be a list of accounts DTO. Okay, Okay, so that was now. And also we will write a generic general function to get all transactions as well, irrespective of the on which date it was carried out. Okay, so let me name that as the get transactions. So this also would be of list of transactions DTO. Okay, this is like kind of, let me name this as a get all transactions so that it will be clear for us. Okay, get all transactions. And also we would need a function to erase them as well, right? So I will write function name as erase transaction. Okay, kind of all of them, right? Now we'll go to our specific use cases, like for example current day expenses transactions. Okay, so let me name that as the get current day expense transactions. So here we will give the return type would be our list of transactions DTO. Okay, fine, that was the, and also now it was current day. Now we'll go weekly also we need, right? So we will write this function as well, get weekly day expense transaction. Okay, and this also will return of type flow of list of transactions DTO. Okay, so that was, and now one more, current day, weekly and monthly. So I will write get monthly. I think a day, no need to write day. So here get monthly expense transaction. Okay, so and this also would return of type list of transaction DTO. Now that was done. Now I showed you in the drop down the use cases, right? Like the 3-day transaction, 7-day, and last month, last week, all. So those use cases also we should write a queries, right, to get a particular details for us to showcase in the UI. So for that now we will define the function name as the get 3-day transactions, and then we will specify the transaction type like kind of income or expense, and then write function for that. Okay, so that is get 3-day transaction, and input parameter would be transaction type. This would be your string, and here return type will be flow of list of transactions DTO, right? So similarly we will write for 7-day. Okay, so get 7-day. Okay, so let me make this. Okay, 7-day transaction, and here transaction type parameter will be same, and return type also would be same. Okay, so that was 7-day and 14-day. Okay, right, get 14-day transaction, parameter remains same, and return type also remains same. And which we had is the start of the month transactions as well, and the last month transaction as well, right? So I will write them as well, that is start of the month, right? Start of the month transaction, and here again parameter remains same, and return type also remains same, flow of list of transactions DTO. Okay, and one more function is what was that, get last month transaction as well, get last month transaction. Okay, and input parameter remains same, and return type also remains the same as the above functions. And one more thing is we will get the transactions by type based on the type like income or expense. For that also we'll write one function, that is get transactions by type. So here flow of list of transaction video, right? So these are all the useful function that we should carry out in our transaction repository. These are the core operations that are required to query our database tables and get the data and showcase in the UI. Okay, yeah, so this is it for this video. Thank you so much, and we'll continue the rest daemon layer and data layer in the coming videos. Thank you so much.